Hello, Montessorians, and welcome to this week's lesson. Very short. We'll be talking about the Montessori human tendencies, and the first two are exploration and orientation. So, my name is Nkem Sinachi Ago. I'm the founder of the Montessori Home Education Academy, and this is one of our free series to discuss one of the Montessori principles, which is human tendencies. We go into details in the Montessori Home Education program. If you want more information, check the link. Shared in the free community, free WhatsApp community, or you can check the description of this video. So, Montessori human tendencies. This is something that you know is typical with human beings, but of course, it is more obvious in children because children, they're just starting out. Everything is new and exciting to them. So, the first tendency is talking about exploration. The fact that children like to explore. They like to discover new things, learn new things. This is something that comes naturally. So when you hear that children like to learn new things, it means they don't even need too much prompting, too much rewarding, and all that. Some of those things are actually distraction from the main thing, right? So being able to learn about these human tendencies and take advantage of them, that's really the purpose of these videos, these lessons. Because if we know that someone likes to learn, it means you don't have to turn something that was already fun for somebody, you now turn it into work or less fun, something that is no longer interesting, right? So just being aware of that and trying to practice it. Okay, your child loves to learn. Maybe just sit for a day and actually observe them instead of trying to constantly engage them. Because if you don't observe them, then how would you know what they like, what they don't like? If you're constantly giving them input, you're the one that is always dictating what they do per day. It's a different thing having routines, having structure. That is different. But just observing them and seeing what is it that they are naturally trying to explore on their own, what it is that they are gravitating towards. That is the purpose. Then the second one is orientation. So children like to know where they are, how they fit into everything. So even as little as babies, something like maybe changing their diaper in different parts of the different parts of the house, different parts of the room, can actually be quite confusing. But having a particular place, even if you have an upstairs and downstairs, but having a particular place upstairs where you change their diapers, particular place downstairs, it actually helps. Having a particular place where they sleep, waking up to see similar things. When they wake up, they are not startled like, oh, where is this? Tomorrow they wake up, they are seeing blue. Next tomorrow they wake up, they are seeing pink and purple. Which is also why this orientation thing is so important, that if you're going to make changes in the house, in the home, in the room, it is good you do it while your child is awake, while your children are awake. This, of course, this goes even beyond the home. You'll notice even in some classrooms, teachers wouldn't just go and randomly change things, except they want to put a surprise, which is just maybe one item to catch the child's attention. But on average, you want to make sure if you're making any big changes in appearance, in orientation of things in the home, it shouldn't be a surprise. You involve your children. You can even explain why or not. That is a different thing altogether. But don't be surprising them when it's not a planned surprise, right? It actually causes some kind of disorientation. 1 week it's like waking up in different places all the time, right? But a baby, on average, if for example you lie them down on the same place and they wake up, see the same artwork or something like that, they won't wake up screaming unless there's something else wrong. They won't wake up panicking. Oh, where is this? Where is that? I remember the first time our little one, who he slept off on a different spot for that particular. It was in the afternoon. He had slept on. I didn't want to disturb him. It was a safe place. But when he got up, the first, he just looked around and the confusion was obvious. He started crying and almost screaming. I said, "Oh, sorry, you're here. You're here. This is the place." And I showed him around. Where he was. Right. So it can be very significant. So for small children, for babies, but even for older children, your 0 to 6 year old and even older, we don't want to just be surprising them. That orientation is so key. It's a need for human beings, and it is even more obviously needed for children and for babies. So those two things, try and practice them this week and see what difference it makes for you, right? Exploration. Allow your child to actually explore safely. Don't over dictate what they're going to do. See what it is they gravitate towards. And then orientation, make a layout and try and stick with it, where you're going to be doing certain things, where you eat, where you sleep, where your child, does those certain things. And if you have to make any changes, make it with them. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. No, if you know anyone that will benefit from this, who has just had a child, is expecting, or has a 0 to 6 year old, feel free to forward this to them and invite them to our free WhatsApp community. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.